We are on the precipice of one of the most dynamic times because of AI, but I don't fear that AI is going to replace everybody.
I'm here with Moran. He's the Chief Operating Officer at Evergreen Media, and we're talking about the changing landscape and what is actually happening inside the business lines. Sean, thanks so much for coming on the show.
This was a joy. I was looking forward to speaking with you.
Absolutely. And you know what's hilarious is we are doing this interview in Miami when we live, 2 streets away from each other.
Right near each other in good old Rumson, New Jersey, Jeannie.
And I don't think we've ever seen each other at home anywhere, not even at the grocery store on a Saturday where
What does that speak to? Does that speak to the new world we're living in where
I think
there's
it
less
does.
out and about?
It's great to see events like this where everybody is coming out and getting together to talk about the future of marketing, the future of media, the future of advertising with such passion. The pressure for every business to improve margins, to engage in AI in some format because it will improve margins and it will redefine the future while they're innovating their business models to meet consumer needs. It's like one
Everybody's
of those,
stretched, right?
Everybody's stretched.
And it sounds cliche in saying it, but it's so true. I mean, we talk to the CMOs. They want to increase reach. We talk to the CFOs. They're looking for margin improvement. And then we talk to the CPOs. They're looking for savings. So what we're seeing is a lot of those functions, I think, are moving towards this concept of just a chief growth officer.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to redefine people's job descriptions, but that is at the basis for this. And when we're talking to clients and you're able to say to them, listen, here's a part of things that aren't going great for you. And we can take that and put it into a place where it becomes part of your growth engine.
Yeah.
It's not burning the furniture. And I've been part of companies where you're burning the furniture just to stay alive.
Exactly. I know. Well, you know, what you're leading in this kind of transformation of the way the industry thinks about what used to be called barter.
Right.
Is pretty dynamic and it's pretty special because of what you just said. You know, you're not only solving the needs of the CMO, the CFO, and the CPO, but you're solving the needs of all three of them as diverse as they seem in one consistent way.
Right.
And that's a strategic approach to transformation and growth in a business that I think is the hot button for every business right now.
Well, that's the thing, and you're seeing so much change, right, in terms of how people are creating content, and where's AI going? I know that's a little scary in terms of what's happening out on the West Coast and now every coast where people are making content. But you're also seeing that companies that have been siloed in the buckets you just mentioned, unfortunately that's still true in a lot of places. The ones where we're seeing them getting ahead of their category is when they've been bringing those conversations internally together.
As I walk into boardrooms and executive rooms, you often see that the executive teams are siloed. They're all driven with their own individual challenges and they're not seeing the alignment. But I will also say that AI and the successful integration of AI in any business requires you to eliminate those silos starting at the executive level. So there is a way that I think AI, which is not necessarily related to what you're doing, is going to be helpful in pulling that together and driving more of a consistent conversation.
And it's fascinating because you start realizing what you can do with it.
Yes.
Let alone every day now, Claude's launching something differently.
Yes.
We are on the precipice of one of the most dynamic times because of AI, but I don't fear that AI is going to replace everybody. My theory that I've seen happen, and I know some people agree with this, it's the folks who learn how to direct AI who are going to be at that next level of efficiency for companies.
Yes.
When I come down here or we go to some of the other conferences together, that is never lost is the human empathetic element.
That is absolutely, that is so key, and it's making a resurgence, which is great.
It is, you're right. I see almost relationships becoming new again in terms of the value of a relationship.
Right.
You know, and not a backslapping 1975 salesperson.
Yeah.
I mean someone who's intellectual and someone who has a passion and a drive, someone who knows about the technology, but also realizes that It's a human-to-human discussion about whether we should work together.
Exactly.
Being with Audits Path and companies like this is so exciting. They didn't exist 10 years ago. And yet we're able to work with folks like that to bring our clients an even more targeted solution that has some of the data that all the clients want to know about.
This has been an epic conversation, Sean. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and maybe I'll see you in town.
We might see each other in town, but thanks for what you're doing, Jeannie.
Absolutely,
It's really
absolutely.
wonderful.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Liftoff. I don't know about you, but I am inspired. Tune in and follow us at Liftoff Show on every social channel, and make sure you catch our next episode.